That was the wrong scene. I was already losing my hair, but now I seem to have even less fucking hair, don't I? Holy shit. Heard something, but my thing didn't show me anything new. What's going on here? Hold on. Bad Gal Beach, thank you for following. I have no idea why that worked. How's it going tonight, Rocket? Okay, you look even bolder than normal. All the hair has disappeared. Ugh. Are you back on First Ascendant? I hadn't swapped chats. Those have never seen it. This is an amazing freaking program. It's called Chatterino. It allows me to have my Twitch chats and stuff over. So I have mine and Reapers. I also got Rockas, and I'm like, wait, whoa, Rocka doing First Ascendant? What? I remember you'd played it once before, and I've been providing advice. I didn't realize you were going back to it again. Question is, why didn't I see the follower? I normally see followers. But again, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Oh. Oh. Yeah, I'm just getting everything put back on the frames because everybody's in a new home now, so to speak. So we can go start working on the builds, which is the plan for tonight, unless anybody wants to do anything. Or anybody needs help, then we will, of course, swap over to that, most likely. Let's see, it was another hate user. We might change this up. There was something else I realized I needed. And now I can't remember what I was thinking of swapping it to. All right. First things first, we're going to start with Kalervo's build. So I've been doing a lot of research the last probably 2 weeks on the Warframes. It's another reason why I haven't really started this side of it. The companions are relatively easy to figure out, right? It's just a matter of, okay, what specific extra mods does each companion have? Okay, it can do this, can do this. Okay, what's its shield, armor, health look like? Is there specifics for this, you know, in terms of, is it able to push over 2,000 shields very easily? Can it have a high crit chance? And funnily enough, in this research, I learned some stuff about Kalervo. Apparently running, I don't remember which bond it is, but one of the bond mods has a final crit multiplier. Apparently that will overwrite Kalervo's final crit multiplier. So apparently you don't want to use that. So what we're looking at right now, though, is Archon shards for Kalervo, because this gives us 35% melee critical damage. Or sorry, 37.5% melee critical damage. But I've seen a lot of people recently been using... Is it this one? It's this one. So Kalervo has enough energy, so that would be a 50% melee crit. I know in the past, I believe I've ran at least one strength, because I believe that puts him very close to the needed strength for sharing damage 100%. Well, hold on, if we did that, we'd have to make... I'd probably do 4. That'd give us an extra 200% final crit multiplier. And then 1 strength. I think that would work, so we would need to make 4 of those. And I definitely want to do Tau Forged. And we'd still have plenty enough, because Zaku doesn't need much. I don't even know if I took Zaku's Archon shards off. To be fair, Zaku doesn't actually need any Archon shards at all. Yeah, I left his on. This I found just drastically helps with Zaku at the start of missions, and then him being able to do his abilities faster is not a bad thing, especially considering, or sorry, her it's not a bad thing for her because being able to do abilities faster, considering she is designed for high level missions and doing like level cap crap, being able to get those abilities out faster is nothing but a good thing. So right now, I've kind of added a quick other sheet to this. Look how white I am now. Dear God, I was already white enough. We didn't need to add to it. But these are the frames I'm kind of thinking about putting Archon shards on. So we'd want Kalervo first. Probably a Harrow. Bolt's gonna be right there. Necros. In terms of usage, core is gonna be up there. Zephyr. Frost. Oh, I should have really captured what I had on these fuckers before I took all their Archon shards off. I don't remember what I was running on Dante now. I really don't know. But okay, if we went with that route for Kalervo, he'd be using... Uh, 4 of each, right? Yeah. So this would be... Some if... Uh, how do I want to do this? You know what? We might actually really just need to actually... Yes, I know that these aren't their names, but it just makes it easier for me right now to not have to sit here and try and think about it too much. Orange Tau, purple Tau. Okay, so Clairvaux would be... So it's 11, 6, 11. And all these right now are 0. Just get rid of that row. All right, so Clairvaux would be 4 of those. And 4 blue. Uh, Wait, did I do that wrong? Oh, wait, I'm stupid. That's why it's messing up. A derpy derpy derp. Minus some of these. How's it going, pimpin'? We are starting finally. And some the rest of those. Working on the builds for all of the frames. Look how much bolder I am. Finally shaved my head today. I have been needing to give myself a haircut for weeks now. Probably a good month I've needed to do a freaking haircut. Equals some right now we're doing the initial kind of prep work I need to do, which is figuring out the Archon shard allocation. We might do my Netra cells today before we get started on this. So that way, yeah. No, this is the other project. So the website started because of essentially this. So this is that whole build setup where I make builds and pass them out to everybody that I've already done the companions part on. And right now the website, Zadrius is working on the damage calculations. He's handling that since Homeboy is good with math. So while I wait for him to finish that and pass me the base code for doing the damage calculations, I'm trying to finish this project up. I want to get this project done so I can focus on that. So right now I'm essentially just using this to do a little bit of planning, because I took the Archon shards off of most of my frames, apart from the ones that I know their Archon shards don't need to go anywhere. Like their Archon shards, their builds are pretty much done. Right now, just for Warframe, just these two. This was the project that started it. And then once I got started on this, that was when I realized how much I wanted a better overframe, and that's when that whole other project started. So it's just two. Just one created the other. Actually, he's probably going to be needing 5. That cuts down how many towels we have left of red and blue. Don't have to worry about Zaku or Mesa. What about Titania? Okay, Titania has the shards, and I'm happy with her having. She doesn't need much. Does Revenant really even need shards? I don't have him in the list here. I mean, he's got more. Not gonna lie, I think he should be a Warframe creator. I mean, I would never turn it down, but I am nowhere near ready to apply for that. Plus, there's a lot I'm still learning right now. But one day. One day. You know, it's funny. Reaper has long since said he maintains, this is him, not me. The Tism will never let me accept compliments or compliment myself. Um, but Reaper has long since maintained that I would be a better streamer than him and content creator. And he is never surprised whenever I have little bursts of popularity on Twitch. Speaking of which, I didn't even realize how much y'all had given recently. I actually got a Twitch payout today. It's only $60, but still. And to be fair, part of that is money that has been sitting at Twitch for like 2 years now. We might have bought more platinum with the Twitch payout. You understand, pimping. I used to stream constantly. Back right before my internet went to crap, which is why I had to stop streaming for like 2 years. I had been making a huge push on Escape from Tarkov. I was doing a lot of Tarkov content, a lot of which was mostly shorts, both YouTube shorts, and I'd also post them to TikTok. So if we swap over to the oldie Dead Smile YouTube channel. Yeah, you can see all the Tarkov shorts I was doing back then. They were surprisingly, some of them were getting like 1,000+ views. I went at 2.2 thousand, and TikTok was, I think, even better. For those who've never watched any Tarkov. And I'm dead. I'm dead. Yeah, once I start posting more actual YouTube content. Oh, dude, no. A lot of Destiny, a lot of Escape from Tarkov. Let's see, Pokemon. Done some Pokemon content. Also, Sea of Thieves. Oh god, content that's not even in Destiny anymore. God, I remember making this guide. There were things called, I don't know if you've ever played Destiny 2, there's things called region chests. And there was a region chest up here on this part of the map that you normally had to wait for an event, and it had to progress a certain way, and so often people wouldn't do it, and I figured out how to do it without needing that event. After what they said about making Pokemon more sexual, I have no idea. To be fair, I don't pay attention to Pokemon. I was like many kids who grew up when I did heavily into Pokemon when it came out. And I still have a deep love of the games, but what I love to do is just collect the Pokemon. And I have what's called a living dex. So I still pay for Nintendo's premium, whatever the hell it's called, because I have in the Pokemon Bank, which is the app where you can store Pokemon through Nintendo, every Pokemon that exists, a single copy. Not just like I have a Charizard and I call that good for, you know, Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard. I have a Charmander, I have a Charmeleon, I have a Charizard. I have every single Pokemon, all 1,000 something at this point. Don't want to know how much work that took at one point. I had my first YouTube video. This is Titanfall 2. So dumb, and I loved it. Yeah, if once I get a body of yes, I have Ash Gray Ninja as well. I have a lot of very rare stuff. There was a dude who was selling rare Pokemon. The best way to say this is you can duplicate Pokemon. So trading Pokemon that are hacked in won't work. There's checks, and so you can't trade hacked Pokemon. But if you clone a Pokemon through, you know, the same basic means, you can trade those. The dude didn't know what he had, cloned them, and for some reason sent me the originals. He messaged me after saying that he accidentally sent me the originals. And they were legit real copies instead of sending me the clones. And I want to say the Ash Gray Ninja was in that one, in that lot, along with a real Arceus, which now isn't as big of a deal because you can get Arceus from oh god, what was the name of it? I actually freaking loved that game. It was the Arceus one. But yeah, I have an OG real Arceus and shit like that. Yes, I am very proud of that collection. I don't have a huge amount of shinies. I mean, I've got a lot more because as much as the newest Pokemon games, Scarlet and Violet, have problems, how easy it is to shiny hunt in them is one of the best things they ever did. So yes, I have played far too much Pokemon. So no, once I get a set of videos up for Warframe, I might apply to be a Warframe creator. But that's, I've got to actually make videos, which I've got to get back into editing videos, which I've done, including After Effects. That transition you see whenever I switch scenes. Yeah, that transition was one I made in After Effects. Most of what you see on my stream was made by me. I used to do graphic web design at one point in my life. One of the many jobs I've had over my life. I used to run my own web design business. So I've been using Photoshop most of my life. I think I've been using Photoshop for well over half of my life at this point, actually. And so that's why it's always hilarious when I get those people who come in and be like, hey, I'm a graphic designer. Do you want me to, you know, make you stuff? And I'm just like, nah, I'm good. I think I still, on a hard drive that I have old stuff on, I still have the copy, the first Photoshop I ever used, which would have been Photoshop 5? Was it Photoshop 5 or 6 I started with? Which is old. Yeah, like, here's a full background that I did. Logo is also 100% my own design. Yes, I used to do graphic design, like art, pretty much. So, like, let's see. Photoshop. I believe it's this file. Yeah. So, like, my logo is done by me as well. Using a feature that I believe is being removed or has already been removed. I'm not sure. Photoshop did 3D for a while there, which is how it has that 3D look to this. Background's just there to look cool. But yeah, logo's my own. You can see the, I think it's this one. Yeah. Oh, dude, I am horrendous at drawing. I spent so long for a while there trying to get good at drawing. But like most of what I was doing was essentially just copying anime. This is all stuff from like high school and shit that I scanned in because I knew it eventually the papers would get destroyed. So this is all like artwork I did back in high school. That's literally just like straight rips off of anime and shit. That was newer. This was back in 2012. I did this one. Little Men series. These were a series of drawings of these like characters I was doing for a while there. Yeah, no, nah, I am horrible. This is what happens if I'm drawing like original content crap. This is what you get. I don't have any of my newer stuff scanned into the computer. The only thing that I somehow had somewhat of a natural talent at was painting. So I've done a lot. I haven't painted in a while. I really do need to get back to it. But I'd started painting, and like you can see the early days of painting like this one. But I started doing a lot of stuff like that. I love doing trees. I don't know if I have a photo of my favorite one I ever did. Yeah, this one was one of the better ones I've ever done. I don't have photos or good photos of the my favorite paintings I've done. None of them are here. I was never able to part with my crap, so I never sold it. The only art that I will claim any kind of I got good at was photography. I've done a crap ton of photography over the years. So this is all back before I tore my ACL. My favorite type of photography was street photography, so walking around downtown Dallas mostly, taking photos and shit. Trust me, you don't want this body, man. I love street photography because and I think we kind of passed by like one of my favorites. Oh, like this one has such an awesome story. I love capturing people living their lives, not posing, not fake smiling, people living. So when I would do this, I would leave like my wallet and even my car keys with my car. I had a hiding spot. There was no way anyone was ever going to see or find to hide my keys in my car. And I had a shit car, so I didn't care back then anyway. So I would literally, the only thing I'd have on me was, to be fair, like $1,500 worth of camera equipment. But I also did a lot of interactions with the homeless people in Dallas. And you know, like with always, they'd walk up and, you know, there'd always be that one who'd walk up and act real friendly, and have that kind of fake friendliness and start asking about like money or something like that, right? And I'd be like, hey, I don't bring my wallet with me. But then I would start a conversation with them, and I would treat them just like a person because they're still people. So many people treat them as lesser because of the fact they're homeless. And I would end up having so many amazing conversations and real moments, and you'd see their personality change from that fake persona they're putting out to try and hopefully get a little bit of money to who they are and their real emotions. And this guy was that, you know, I was sitting there, I was switching out lenses. He walked up, you know, asked, and I was like, I'm sorry, man, I don't carry my wallet with me while I'm doing photography. And then I was like, so, how's your day going? You know, or something like that. I don't remember exactly what I said, but we started talking, and I just let him talk, and I would listen attentively. And then, you know, he got interested in the photos I was taking. He thought they were cool. And then he was sitting there next to me, or a little bit, you know, we weren't like right next to each other, but we were sitting in the same spot on the same ledge. And he was just watching me take photos. And then he showed himself, his real emotions. He was just kind of looking out. You know, he wasn't putting on a fake. He wasn't doing anything. He was just sitting there. And I was very good at taking photos without people ever realizing I was taking their photo. And so I had this amazing interaction with him. And then I got this photo of him. This was back when there was one of the synthetic cannabinoids going around, and it would cause people to get stuck, is the only way I can describe it. They would be completely unreactionary to anything. And you would find these people just littered through downtown Dallas, just sitting there, just not moving, not reacting to anything. And this guy was one of them. And just the lighting that was on him from reflection of the building. This was a random person I got to talk to. He was actually visiting Dallas from Germany. Not a disease, just a drug. It was just it was a synthetic drug that they were taking. I don't remember the name of it, but it essentially turned people into zombies, pretty much. But yeah, this dude was visiting Dallas, and he was, you know, going and look at the grassy knoll, you know, where JFK was and shit like that. Got a good photo of him at one point. You know, there was just also, again, people just living their life, walking to work and shit. I would be out there in Dallas at like 6, 7 a.m. in the morning. This is back when I worked security, and I'd get off security Thursday morning at like usually about 6 a.m. And I would pass by downtown Dallas, but I'm going the opposite way of traffic. So I would just, you know, get off the highway and go downtown and just walk for 2 hours taking photos in the morning while people are just going to work and shit. Here was another one. This is that exact same situation. This dude got off a bus, and for a good 20 minutes, he was standing but hunched over, and then eventually he ended up sitting down. And, you know, it's like, it's horrible to see, and it's, a lot of people aren't ready for it, but it's real, and it was what was happening at the time. And, you know, I never take photos like this to be exploitive of the person, but it's life. You know, and that's what I've always wanted to capture with photography, is life in one way. That's why I fell in love with street photography, is that idea of capturing people living, not posing, not looking their best, just living. That's what I've always loved. There's another one I just love. This one's just more of the way the photo ended up looking in the end. Dude just on a break, chilling on a bench. I'd always like it. I also loved getting photos right when people would notice me. So they'd look at the camera, but their expression wouldn't change, because it's that moment they're seeing someone and looking at them. You got that feeling that someone's looking at you, and you like look over at them. But it would be before their expression would change. That was always one of my favorites too. And then I also was a huge fan of going to either the Dallas Zoo or the Fort Worth Zoo. So there is a lot of animal photography. This is my favorite snake. I'm one of those weirdos who likes snakes. And this is my personal favorite type of snake. It's a gaboon viper. Gaboon vipers are, in my opinion, just the coolest looking freaking snakes. The scary part is his head, the head of a Gaboon Viper is big, okay? And it's big because it's nothing but venom gland. One of those and their fangs are like that long. One of those latches onto you, you are going to have a very, very painful death. That's a green mamba. That's a lizard. I don't remember what type. Alligator. We've got some burbs as well. Yeah, gotta have the lion in there too. And if you're ever in the Dallas area, the Fort Worth Zoo allows you to get views like this because the enclosures aren't just like a fence between you and them. They're set up to where there's a section across from you, and then there's like a giant, like, moat almost. It's like a big pit with water at the bottom separating you from the animals. And so you're at a safe distance with another fence in front of you, but you can actually look straight at them, not through a fence. So you get some amazing photos like this. Also just really cool views. Oh, and I love photographing the great apes. And it's so interesting watching them because you see so much of us in them. When you sit there and watch them for a short time, like, you see us. Like that pose. We've all sat like that. We all have. Maybe not with our nipples hanging out like that, but you know. Yeah, this one was one of my favorites. Gotta love that tongue. So if you notice, it stopped about 2016. Ignore the 2017 thing. That is back when I tore my ACL. So the ability to go do long walks in downtown Dallas, doing street photography, kind of died the moment I tore my ACL. I do hope that if I can get fit enough and lose enough weight to get back to walking again, I want to start back up, and I want to get a new camera too, and I want to go back to it. Because I do miss it a lot. And see some of the other ones I like a lot. With a real face butt to the cameraman and camera's real butt. Not off the top of my head, but would be surprised. Sounds about right. Oh, I also loved macro photography. Oh, getting up close with like insects and crap was always so cool, dude. Seeing the eyes in that kind of very high clear definition. Oh, I never thought about the fact that it does kind of look like a devil fruit, but that's a little bug. It's a bug. It's like itty bitty. I loved doing selective color like this. Yeah. I'm trying to remember the real name of them because around here in the South, we had a specific name for them called a roly-poly. Pill bug, potato bug. These guys. They roll up into a little ball to be defensive. No, not really. So interesting story related to this one and photos like it. My entire life, or for most of my life, And even on my driver's license, I thought I had green eyes, which was weird because, and I don't know the genetics or the science behind it, but pretty much all the men in my family have blue eyes. No matter what their parents had, I don't know why my grandfather's genes were so damn strong, but every male had blue eyes. And so me having green eyes, I was that, it was another reason I was the weirdo of the family. It wasn't until I took a close-up photo of my eye, yes, that is my eye, it is slightly edited in color, that I realized I don't have green eyes. I have heterochromia, so my eyes are two colors. The outer ring of my eyes is blue, as it should be as a male of my family, and the inner ring is yellow. And of course, when you mix blue and yellow, you get green. So when you're looking at my eye from any kind of distance, even just like that far away from my face, my eyes appear green. But when you look close, my eyes are blue and yellow. The nice blue, and it is that standard, it is a very bright blue on the outside, and then a relatively bright yellow ring on in the middle. That was a really cool discovery to realize I had heterochromia. And to be fair, heterochromia like that's not really that abnormal. I love this photo, but it's a sad story. This is, I'm trying to remember, I think it's a day gecko. If I remember correctly, was a species. I found him at my work. So I don't know what had happened to him, but he couldn't move. It was like he was paralyzed from the neck down. I don't know if something had bit him, if he had gotten injured. I took him in and tried to kind of help him out and see if I could get it. Like maybe he was just weak. Maybe he had overheated or gotten too cold. So I got him warmed up. I did everything I could. And then I'm not sure. I let him go for a while, and then you could tell he was kind of fading. So I had him laying up here on this was a warm surface where he was. And I always took my camera with me everywhere I went, including work. So I took my camera out and I at least got a photo of him. I'm like, man, you're probably not going to live, but I'm at least going to get a cool photo of you so you can be remembered that way. And yes, he did sadly pass relatively soon after. I was having to start to contemplate the idea of, oh, animal control wouldn't do anything about it. It's a tiny little gecko. You have to understand this dude was like that big. People step on them, everything eats them. It's one of those situations. Animal control's not gonna do anything. Vet's not gonna do anything. And like I said, he was on his way out the door. I warmed him up, gave him the best little last bit he could, and then yeah. But I was having to start to contemplate putting him out of his misery because he could not move anything from his neck down. I'm telling you, dude, the eyes of flies. I understand flies are creepy, a lot of bugs are creepy, but those eyes are so fucking cool. Let's see if there's any other ones that are really cool to see. I just love the pattern that's on them. Oh, there's one I wanted to show you. How's it going, Nye? We're going down memory lane of my days of photography. Was it in 2014? I also did a lot of water drop stuff. A lot of water drop crap. This is water and milk mixed together. Oh, we got to find the series I did on water drops. There it is. So this series is called Anatomy of a Water Drop. It was a lot of the different stages of a water drop. Yeah, these are all my photos. I used to do a lot of water drop crap. Once you kind of crack how to do them, it's like it's addictive to sit there and do them. This is back when I was heavily into card tricks, cardistry, and stuff like that. Fun fact, the deck of cards that you see within this photo, I don't know if it's still worth that much or if it's gone up or gone down. This deck of cards was worth $150. Most people don't realize how rare and expensive some decks of playing cards are. It's not the market like trading cards are, but some of this stuff is expensive. But I used to be a lot into cardistry, magic, stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, let's be real here. A Pokemon card is still just a card, and there are Pokemon cards worth well over $1,000. And there's the OG Black Lotus for Magic that's worth what? I think a mint condition Black Lotus is like $20,000-$30,000. For a long time, I never admitted this photo is partially faked. This is real lightning, and I really did photograph it, but it's two photos put together to get all those bolts in one photo. This bolt and this one are from a separate photo. Not fake so much as it's two photos put together. So I had a tripod set up and I was taking photos of the lightning. I mean, to be fair, all my photos are technically edited. I use a program called Adobe Lightroom. So that's how I get all the coloring. So like when you see black and white or selective color, all my photos are technically edited in Lightroom. But that's all that is just color correction, removing grain, the noise in photos. Yeah, I guess editing would work, but this is a composite of two photos put together. Yeah, I mean, like, all my photos are I finished them in Lightroom. But yeah. All right, have a good night, Pimpin'. Thanks for stopping in. All right. I keep letting myself get distracted from doing what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah, it's literally just taking two photos and putting... Oh, crap. That's... Hold on, guys. That was going to pull up my phone, which would automatically show text messages and people's names and phone numbers. So had to go to break real quick in case that showed up on my main screen. If we go back, art photography. There. I don't even know if I still have the original PSDs of all these. Most of what you saw there was a Canon T4i. I stopped shooting photography back in 2016 after I tore my ACL. You weren't here for the kind of where we started. We started with the last stuff I did. I was big into street photography. So I did a lot of stuff in downtown Dallas. My favorite thing is shooting people living their lives. I think it's the most interesting type of photography personally for me. And you're never running out of subjects. And it's also a really huge challenge to figure out how to tell a story with a photo through the composition when people are moving and living. You don't have time, and you can't ask somebody, hey, can you do that walk across the road again for me? I didn't have the composition just right. So there was a lot of challenge in learning how to compose fast, and also be able to still get, you know, it in focus, to get all of your settings right, especially in the morning and in a downtown area where lighting can rapidly change. I'm trying to find the one that's a really good example of it. Like, this was one I was really happy with the composition, with the different kind of layers, with that kind of feel to the photo, with that white line to his right and where he is, and then the pole. I wish I had gotten the photo him a little bit more centered for how I composed it. But yeah, that was always the fun challenge part of it as a photographer. But it was also just seeing life, and also the sad parts. As I talked about earlier with pimping, I spent a lot of time interacting with like the homeless in downtown, talking with them, having amazing conversations. But also you see kind of the dark side of humanity, of what people are going through. Like, this was back when there was one of the synthetic cannabinoids, and people were doing this drug, and it would cause them to just be stuck. They would be awake, eyes open, and they're not moving, they're not talking, they won't interact with you. You can't, like, if you say something to them, they're not there. And it was always so interesting to see that, and to photograph it, and to show other people, you know, not all of life is peachy, right? And a lot of these people, like this guy right here, are people that I sat there and talked to and got to know, and, you know, treated them like humans, because they are. But so many people don't treat the homeless and people on drugs as humans anymore. They treat them as something less, and treating them as a human and talking with them like a normal person, you'd learn a lot, and you'd get to have amazing conversations, and their emotions would change from that persona, that mask they would wear, and you'd get glimpses of what they're really going through and what they're really feeling. And it was some of the most amazing stuff ever. But like I said, I had to stop back in 2016. I tore my ACL. And so that, with my weight and how long it took me to recover, I couldn't do this anymore. Yeah, it was amazing. I also love going to the zoo. I did a lot of photography at the zoo. Again, this was just captive audience, or captive subject, I should say. But yeah, this was, a lot of my stuff was at the Fort Worth Zoo. Yeah, Canon T4i. I also use, I had a lot of decent lenses. I had Tamron, it was a 75 or 70 to 200. But it was they had a really good image stabilization in this telephoto. My favorite lens by far was my 85 millimeter 1.4 from Canon. Oh my God, that lens was gorgeous. All right, let's get to building. Yeah, if I can ever get to the point where I can walk heavily again, because my knees have a lot more problems than just that torn ACL at this point. I do want to get back into it, and I want to get one of the last DSLRs, since DSLRs are pretty much a dying or dead. I don't know if at this point you just call DSLRs a dead breed. Mirrorless is kind of taken over, and I prefer DSLRs, so. But there's also part of me, it's like, fuck it, just go ahead and get a mirrorless. Alright, sweet. Alright, let's spawn in some peoples. that combo built up real quick. I'm not sure on that one, Di. So that was doing about 2 million to those. Let's try the sword that I almost always used to use. And now we're at 12. So the Grand Prime is doing more. Quite a bit more. Like I said, I've never gone and got the codes. I know you can get them on the market. Let's see. So you can get it, can be earned when scanning a live feral cavats at a 25% chance. They have to be alive. So you can't do it on the plains of Eidolon. So it's on the Orkin Derelict tile set. So Deimos. So yeah, you need to go to Deimos to get them. All right. Now a lot of people have been talking about using hate for it. Actually have my dread in the bank there. Not bad. Now let's try it with a primer. Let's see if that's what we need for this to work better. Let's go with Epitaph. Almost 5 million on these ones. Do I have condition overload on this? I don't. So what happens if we do that? Uh, right. Nice little 7 mil. But if we're going to test it like that, we've got to test everybody else like that too. I've heard that hate can get some absurd stuff. Let's see, do I have condition overload on this? Negative. Let's see what that does. By the way, I'm confused. Which Warframe should I build? I got a set of Rev, Prime, Korra, Trinity, Limbo, Haro next. I mean, I love Korra, but let's be honest here. Revenant Prime is the, hey, I don't feel like dying ever again frame. He is absurd for a very good reason. All right, let's see what that does now. I need to turn on invincibility, see if I can keep these guys alive long enough. They're dying from all the other crap first. All right. There was a 17 mil. $25 mil. That. Oh, now I want to test what I heard, that a Darza Kavat will actually fuck with the final crit. So this is the one, right? Flavor crits. Yep. And that's invincibility for me, not for them. Oh, sentience. Sentience are the best. Okay. Let's go with sentience. And nice little 12 mil. $6 mil. Yeah, we're definitely not hitting anywhere near as high. Yeah. There's a reason I tell people how good Kalervo is. There's a very, very good reason why I talk about how good Kalervo is. Let's grab some more energy real quick. We're not even making this as dumb as we could. So it does what the Adarza Kavat drops how much crit it can do. Then we prime the enemies for condition overload. Let everybody get status all to hell. And then how is that suddenly worse? Oh, I didn't take the cat off. That's what I forgot to do. I wish I could rank that up higher, but I need to get higher mastery rank. Hold on. Did I have? Okay, I do have Stealth Path modifier on. That's weird. Just the Sentinel mod? Oh, wait, I'm fucking dumb. Ignore me, chat. I'm an idiot.